All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakah Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect to the nation of Israel. This is going to be a lesson about how the Israelites are going to receive Yahweh's algorithm for righteousness, which is ultimately another way of me saying that the Israelites are going to receive the new covenant. All right, but because a lot of people don't understand what the new covenant is still or now, right? And it's still a stumbling block, which it shouldn't really be, considering it's not a basic topic. I wouldn't say, but it's easy to read. Like, you can just read it when you find where it is in the scriptures, and it shouldn't really take any spiritual discernment to understand what that's talking about. But I'm gonna read it anyway, and then I'll go from there. This is Jeremiah, the book of Jeremiah, 31 and verse 31. Behold, the days come, saith Yahweh, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in a day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, which my covenant they break, although I was a husband unto them, saith Yahweh. But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith Yahweh. I will put my law in their inward parts and write it in their hearts, and I will be their God, and they shall be my people. And they shall teach no more every man his neighbor, and every man his brother, saying, Know Yahweh. For they shall all know me from the least of them unto the greatest of them, saith Yahweh. For I will forgive their iniquity, and I will remember their sin no more. So that's what's getting ready to happen, man. That's receiving the Lord's algorithm. And when I looked up the word algorithm before doing this lesson, algorithm means like a particular set of rules, right, in order to complete a certain task. And that's ultimately, really, I could have said that we're going to receive the algorithm for immortality instead, right? Because that's what these wicked elites are trying to do right now. And they're trying to give it to just themselves. They wouldn't even share that thing with the rest of their nation of Esau. They'd just keep it for themselves if they could have it, right? Whereas among the Israelites, they're both the royal class and the lower level class. If there's even going to really be such a thing, if it's even really makes sense to say there's going to be such a thing as a lower level class among the Israelites, because the worst Israelite in the kingdom, the lowest ranked Israelite in the kingdom, is going to be higher ranked than every single heathen that exists, right? Whereas the lowest ranked Edomite right now is not better than the highest ranked of another nation in this world. They're not. The lowest rank might be eating from a bin somewhere, or might not even be able to talk English like that. Those the Whitaker family, the Whitakers, that's a family in America that they can't even talk, man. They literally bark and howl like dogs, right? But they ain't better than a LeBron James of this society, you know? They ain't. Now, let me just make this point as well, because Yahweh Shai, he pretty much received the algorithm, Yahweh's algorithm, when he came born as Yahweh Shai. He pretty much received that special way of being born when he came to the earth, man. But it wasn't that he was born from a virgin birth. It's that he was pretty much made. He was pretty much made into the scriptures was made into flesh through him, right? Everything that was in the scriptures was everything that was regarding to the way how you're supposed to act according to the Bible was pretty much put within him. And then he walked the earth in flesh that was made corrupt, though, the same corrupt flesh that we had. This is John chapter 1 and verse 14. And the word was made flesh and dwelt among us, and we beheld his glory. The glory is the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth. And some people don't even understand what it means for him to be considered as the only begotten of the Father. They don't get that. I'm not even gonna go into that in this video, right? Because for the people that know that, we know what it's talking about, man. And for the people that don't know, time will allow them to know it if they're supposed to know that anyway. But I'm not gonna go into that in this topic. I'm gonna stay on the topic of how the Israelites are gonna receive Yahweh's algorithm for righteousness. Now, let me show what I mean by that. This is Sirach, the book of Sirach, or the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 19 and verse 19. The knowledge of the commandments of Yahweh is the doctrine of life, and they that do the things that please him shall receive the fruit of the tree of immortality. Now, the new covenant is that the Israelites are going to be given within their body the knowledge of the commandments of the Lord, and they're going to be given the ability to do the things that please Yahweh, right? Now, when you go into the book of Esdras, which I'm going to go to now, when you go to the book of Esdras, the 7th chapter, and it's either the 46th verse or the 48th verse, it makes a very good point on something that it says. Okay, it's the 46th verse then. This is 2nd Esdras chapter 7 and verse 46. I answered then and said, this is my first and last saying, that it had been better not to have given the earth unto Adam, or else, when it was given him, to have restrained him from sinning. Now, Adam wasn't given that ability to be restrained from sinning. But the Israelites in the kingdom of heaven, when we receive back the world again, right? Because the world was made for our sakes when you read it, which I'm going to read it right now. 2nd Ezra chapter 6 and verse 54. And after these, Adam also, whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures, of him come we all, and the people also, whom thou hast chosen. All this I have spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sakes. The sakes of who? The sakes of them that are chosen. Right, now back to this. Verse 2nd Ezra chapter 7 and verse 46. I answered then and said, this is my first and last saying, that it had been better not to have given the earth unto Adam, or else, when it was given him, to have restrained him from sinning. Right? The Israelites are going to be restrained from sinning under that new covenant, right? When we receive the earth back again. Because we're not only going to receive the laws within our mind, right? We're going to be given back a nation. We're going to be given back a homeland, right? And through keeping the laws, if you remember what the covenant contains, through keeping the laws, you end up receiving the blessings. And what is the first blessing? Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of Yahweh thy power, to observe and to do all his commandments which I command thee this day, that Yahweh thy power will set thee on high above all nations. Now that's still that's not voided, right? Because the thing that was wrong with the first covenant was the Israelites. There wasn't no problem with the blessings. There wasn't no problem with the curses. And that's why when we're under the new covenant, those curses are going to be removed from us and placed upon the heathen nations. Deuteronomy chapter 13 verse 7. There wasn't nothing wrong with the laws, because the Israelites are going to be made to keep the laws perfectly under the new covenant. And not only that, but the heathens are going to be under the law too, but they're not going to be under the new covenant, but they're going to be made to follow the laws also. And according to Deuteronomy the 4th chapter, when the heathen see how we keep the laws, they're going to say, surely this nation is a great and a wise and an understanding people. And that's going to continue to be a thing that makes them strive to want to keep the laws to whatever ability they're going to be able to keep them, you know? And in doing that, they're going to be able to enhance their life, but they're never going to be able to have immortality, because that's something that the Israelites are going to receive. And that's why I think I'll name this lesson, the Israelites are going to receive the algorithm for immortality, right? And I think I can end the lesson there, right? All praises to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem Rakah Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect to the nation of Israel. Shalom.